So I'm headed to an area called Lakemba in Sydney, Australia, and it's supposed to be a very high Muslim population area, kind of like Markslow or Molenbeek in Europe. I think that in Australia, the no-go zone areas wouldn't be as bad as Europe just because they've got less mass immigration, but I've heard some pretty bizarre stories about riots, about attacks, kind of grooming gangs in Lakemba as well. So I want to see what's actually going on there. Is this actually a no-go zone? Or is it integrating perfectly? The only way I get to know these things is if I go on the ground and check it out. So let's see what we find out in Lakemba. As soon as we arrived in Lakemba, things were tense. There were heads turning, people coming out of shops to look at us and find out what we were doing. Men started yelling in Arabic across the street at us. I hadn't even been in Lakemba 10 minutes before someone had tipped off the media, and they came running to combat me and tell me this was a perfectly safe area and I had nothing and no reason to be there. Almost immediately, the media's story was proven to be wrong. As we went to go for a walk to the local mosque, a very high-ranked police officer came up to me and begged with me, do not go there.
Where's the... Southern, is it?
Speaking.
Inspector Rick Ages from Campsie Police.
Yep.
I've been informed that you're intending to attending the Lakemba Mosque, is that correct?
I actually have no intentions of attending. I was just planning on walking through the streets and seeing how the culture was here.
Yes?
Yep.
Are you satisfied with that?
Yep.
So where do you intend on walking to now?
I was just going to walk out and check how the mosque was.
Check where the mosque was?
Yep. Would I not be allowed to attend if I wanted to?
I've got grave concerns that you may cause an imminent breach of the peace down there, so I'm asking you not to attend.
Why would I cause a breach of the peace?
Because it's highly religious down there.
So would it be me causing a breach of the peace, or would it be the people there?
Well, your presence may cause them to be, be offensive and be objective to your attending there.
And so that would be them being offended
Please,
by me.
Can you not interview me? The local community walk around here without any fear. I walk around here without any fear.
Right, but I'm a critic of Islam.
Yes.
So I can't be in this multicultural because my culture is allowed to have free speech and criticizes Islam.
I understand you have your own beliefs and you're allowed to have your own beliefs. I have no issue with that. I'm asking you not to attend down there because I have a fear that you may cause an imminent breach of the peace. In doing so, you may commit an offence.
Am I allowed to walk through the area?
I'm asking you not to go down the Haldon Street.
You're asking me, but do I have the legal right to walk down this area?
At this point in time, no.
Do you at least hope for the best for Donald Trump and that he does well for America?
I know you're hoping for a quick answer on that, but there's part of me that hopes he fails miserably.
Why?
Because
Jason, you were out here protesting tonight, yes?
Yeah.
And were you protesting Trump or deplorable or both?
Both, honestly. I think that Trump's a fascist and he should not be our president, and I think everyone coming here is a white supremacist. So yeah, I was here for both.
What about the people of color that were in deplorable?
There weren't actually anyone I saw walk in who was a person of color. It was all a bunch of old white men.
I was in there and there were people of color in there, and Jews and all kinds of people.
Well,
women.
Well, sometimes they like to get token black men to make themselves seem inclusive when a lot of them have been spewing white hate and been tweeting out white hate, and a lot of alt-right people didn't show up tonight because of the hate that some of these people were spewing on Twitter who organized the event.
A lot of them actually believe in the manosphere, by the way. The manosphere, you know the manosphere.
You made that up?
You realize people have different opinions in there and are different groups and different ideas.
Actually, I did. Yeah! Face to face with a few of them.
Such as?
Well, Emily Yukis.
She's not there.
Okay. What was his name?
You haven't talked to a single one of them. You don't know what you're talking about. You're slandering people like all the people that were out here protesting. You don't know what you're talking about.
Actually, I think that if you're going to do this interview that way, And I think that's ridiculous.
Girl, if you're gonna slander people, I'm gonna call you out, and this is me calling you out. So
I am slandering them for their policies of racism. I have read Mike Cernovich's awfulness, and just because you're laughing and wearing a beautiful gown doesn't mean that you are correct. Actually,
right,
I'm
me
sorry.
having the facts means I'm correct.
I thought
What facts have you given me? You've asked me a lot of questions, and then when I haven't given something, you say that I'm wrong. But what facts have you actually offered? I just want to know that.
I offered counters to every single time you claimed there was a white supremacist in there.
You offered bullying tactics.
No, I'm asking for you to substantiate your bullying and slander of this group, and you haven't given me one piece of substantial evidence. Not one.
How about Milo Yiannopoulos?
He's not there.
He was actually a featured guest.
He's not
Is
there.
he not there?
I was just in there. He's not there.
Is
You
he-
don't know a
He was
thing.
a featured
You
guest.
don't know a thing. No,
he
he's
was
not.
a featured guest.
I was just in there. He's not in there.
That doesn't mean he wasn't a featured guest. Could you actually accurately
I'm a
state?
featured guest at the deplorable.
I know that you are. You're actually the only woman who's actually featured. Because guess what? It's a bunch of dudes. And I do not appreciate that.
Did you just call me a woman? I'm legally a man.
Are you?
Yes.
Do your viewers realize that?
Yes. I did a whole video on it.
You're legally a man?
I am legally a man.
Do you identify as a cis woman or a cis
I'm a
male
man.
or transgender?
I'm a man.
You're a man?
Yes.
Can I interject?
I'm surprised by that.
I just
My
wanna
apologies. I
interject.
never would have known that.
Cheers. All right. Well, make
Can I
sure to check
interject?
people's
So you-
pronouns first next time. I gotta
All
get
right,
going.
I'm
But
gonna
have a
Do you,
good
are
night.
people in there checking everyone's pronouns?
Absolutely. They're a bunch of great people.
Okay.
So, can you name some of the white supremacist hate that's been tweeted out by the people in the event?
Yeah, they were using the words white power.
Who?
I do not remember. I saw a news article in the Huffington Post today about it.
I saw your face and you were kind of like laughing, you know, and smirking. I could just by your body language, it was like you were like mocking it, and it's nothing to be mocked at.
I'm not lying about rape. I'm not mocking rape victims. I'm mocking lying about incidents that happen. When people who are coming out to say they represent victims lie and say that things that didn't happen happened, that does not help real victims. This woman raped me. Do you believe women? Believe woman. Believe my truth.
Do you think
Believe my truth.
who's there when little kids get raped?
Believe my truth.
Do you not?
Do you not? You just said you need to believe women's truths.
Well,
You just said that.
You're just mocking. You're
Women
mocking.
can advocate for themselves and explain what they've been through. Who's there to
disgusting.
witness when little kids are raped?
No one believes people when they report the rapes because people like you.
I believe
That's
people
true.
when there are evidence, and you know what?
What if there's no evidence?
If there's no evidence, then I really hope they get justice, but I don't believe in putting people in jail when there is no evidence for a crime. That is wrong, innocent until proven guilty. Do you believe in innocent until proven guilty?
Rapes don't happen unless they're
I never said that. I never said that. I said that you have to have a level of skepticism. You have to have a level of waiting for evidence. You cannot convict a man without evidence, innocent until proven guilty.
Now you're assuming that it's just men that rape too now. Like you're just, oh my gosh.
No,
That's just
women rape too, absolutely. I was just giving an example, and you know that you're just trying to find something to be offended by. We cannot bring in guilty until proven innocent. We cannot.
It's ironic that a woman is saying a radical feminist, talking about radical. So are you a feminist?
Of course not.
You're not a feminist. So feminism really is women wanting equal rights to men. So you don't think that you deserve.
There are a lot of different feminists. There are a lot of different. I believe Christina Hoff-Summers is a feminist who wants equality. I absolutely believe that. I don't think someone like Andrea Dworkin is a feminist who wants equality. I don't think feminists who have been quoted saying we should put men in concentration camps are feminists that want equality. There are different types of feminists.
I don't think there's different types of feminists.
No, so would you say the feminists who say I want equality for both genders and one that says I want women to be superior are the same?
No, they're not feminists.
They're not feminists. Okay, well, I mean, you can say that, but that's the no true Scotsman theory. That's the no true Scotsman
I
fallacy.
just asked you if you were a feminist and you said no. And
No, I'm not.
I'm a feminist because I believe in equality for men and for women and men and for all genders.
So women and men.
No, all genders.
So women and men.
There's
There are
women.
two genders biologically. I'm sorry.
There isn't. There's you're not now you're totally excluding transgender, non-binary, gender fluid people, and these.
I mean, you can live in your unicorn world.
I'm going to assume that you're a cisgender straight woman because you obviously
that's really true.
and that you probably haven't ever been raped. Either.
I actually identify as an
like-
attack helicopter, so it's really
to me,
offensive.
You sound like you're speaking from a very privileged point of view here.
Very privileged.
Yes.
I would like you to use my pronouns if you could. They're I, me, and my.
So now you're mocking the LGBTQ community now.
I have lots of LGBTQ friends, and they don't get professionally offended at everything.
Just because you have LGBTQ friends doesn't mean that you're not homophobic or biphobic or transphobic. That's like me saying, oh, I have black friends, so I'm not racist.
My LGBTQ friends are usually male and female and not some unicorn gender that's been made up.
That's so hateful. You're just like erasing. Yeah.
Construct. Gender is a social construct, right? And I don't have boobs. That's just a social construct. Oh, and penises don't exist, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's male and there's female. There are two biological genders. Science exists. I'm sorry to tell you all that science exists, but it does. There is biology, there is science. I mean, you can live in your magical, made-up world with trigger warnings.
Friends, hear you talking right now because
I hope they'll come out of the woodworks and defend me, guaranteed. Because I've got lots of friends that. That's great.
And you know what? I'm finding a lot of what you're saying extremely offensive.
That's great.
And I'm sure that I know a lot of people.
And I mean, science probably disagrees with you.
Validate those people's experiences, like transgender people. That's so important to their lives and their identity and their happiness and their well-being and their health. How can you deny the existence of these people's identities and their need to have that well-being?
They can do whatever they want. That doesn't mean science or myself have to agree with you believing you are agender, you believing you're a demigirl or some non-existent gender that's been made up.
It's non-existent. It's incredibly important to them.
You know what else is important? Science, facts, and biology. Those are also very important to the advancement of the human race, to treating people's diseases, to reproduction.
Transgender too. Doesn't mean that they're not a real person with a real body and a real neurology.
I don't know why I'm talking about trans people. I don't deny trans people's existence.
Yeah, you do.
How do I deny their existence?
You just say, oh, there's only a male and a woman, or male and female.
I said there's male and female. Yeah. How does that deny transgender people's existence?
Because there are more than two binaries.
I said there's male and females. How does that attack transgender?
Well, just how you're talking about it right now, and you're mocking transgender people, saying if I call myself, as you said, if I call myself a helicopter, then I must be a helicopter, and everyone needs to respect that.
You do realize that there are trans people that have male and female hormones, and that there are people that are actually hermaphrodites. I'm saying when you make up a gender like a demigirl or say you're genderless, that's a bit different. There's actually a nuanced debate to have with transgenderism. I'm talking about your made up genders that don't exist. That you're they, and them, whatever. There's the she and he.
It's just really disgusting how you just belittle what people want to call them, what they deserve, and how they see themselves.
Can I identify as an attack helicopter? Am I allowed to do that?
I don't think that would be genuine or that has any basis in reality.
If I genuinely did and it was my reality, could I do that?
I'm not going to even go there because that's not the case, and you can't make that comparison.
If someone identifies as a cat, can they do that? There's lots of people who have that reality.
Don't agree with you. I think you're hateful.
Do you think that someone can be identified as a cat?
I'm not going to talk about this.
No, there's lots of people in the news that identify as animals. Why can't they do that?
It seems like a waste of time to talk to you.
Denying their identity?
Psychological condition. We've actually gone past the point to, we don't believe that science, as you say, psychology does not see people who are homosexual being.
I don't know why you're bringing up homosexuality. Can someone, yes or no, be a cat if they want to identify as that?
You're comparing apples and oranges here because you're talking about a psychological condition, whereas someone's sexual identity and sexual orientation is not a psychological condition.
I'm not talking about sexuality, we're talking about gender.
No, but
keep up with the
you were
program here.
no, you're comparing apples and oranges with both these
I don't
subjects.
think you have any idea what we're talking about. I think you're just triggered and offended in here.
You're trying to manipulate people's words in this. That's what you're doing.
Sorry guys, there's only two genders, female and male. Also,
Yeah, you're embarrassing yourself. Go home, you're drunk.
this is extremely controversial to say. Science and facts, extremely controversial. I know you're walking away, but I would like to do some interviews. Would I be allowed to do
No,
interviews?
you're not welcome in there.
No, I'm not. No, just to do interviews on the street. Am I allowed to?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm asking you not to. Go
I
back.
just,
No,
would I
I'm
be
telling
allowed,
you.
would I, okay, no cameras, nothing, would I be allowed to talk to people and
I'm
criticize
asking-
Islam?
No.
Why?
Because I'm telling you, no, you're committing an offence. Why do you need to do it here?
Because
Why?
this is a
What
highly
questions-
Islamic area.
What questions do you intend asking?
Could I not talk to people and criticize
What
Islam?
question? Why do you want to? Why do you want to criticise Islam? Like I said, if you're inside, I have fear that you're going to cause a breach of the peace.
No, you fear people will be
No,
offended
no,
by me.
No, yeah.
Yes, thank
and
you.
And you're committing a breach of the peace. I've given you that warning, and if you do that, you may be breaking the law. Do you understand that?
Yep, I understand it. I perfectly understand. As far as I'm concerned, you have Sharia law here. As far as I'm concerned. Yeah, we'll go to jail if we talk to people. As far as I'm concerned, they have Sharia law here. I was told if I talk to people, even if I put all my cameras away, I can't criticize Islam to people here on a public street in Australia, in Sydney. Don't tell me you don't have no-go zones. Don't tell me this is a multicultural country. Lakemba is a monoculture, and it is one that does not allow critique of Islam. It is one that does not allow free speech because it is conquered land.
There are actually no women who are being featured as guests at they're deplorable.